Okay, I kind of understand if you're confused why the video is called Force Upgrade. The main reason I called it that is because the safe word's Alpine. But to be serious, the main reason I'm calling it that is because we're going to be using like an external program to unofficially upgrade it to iOS 7, iOS 6, so let's get started. Okay, so now that we got the iPad connected to the Mac, we got a pop open terminal, and then inside the terminal we run Legacy iOS Kit. Once we're inside this menu, let's head to Restore/Downgrade, and then pick iOS 7.1.2. While we download the IPSW for iOS 7, the reason I kinda like am getting a bit apprehensive to this is I tried this on the iPod Touch 4 with only 256 megs of RAM, and it was just awful, dude. That was a complete train wreck. And unfortunately for us, the iPad has the exact same SoC, the Apple A4 inside of it, so is this going to be usable or just a complete mess? I guess there's really only one way to find out. Jailbreak option. When this option is enabled, your device will be jailbroken on restore. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to go with that because I don't think iOS 7 is going to be, very usable out of the box. Wait a sec, actually, can we even, log into Apple ID, the App Store, without it? Okay, and finally, to start the restore, we got to put the device into Pwn BFU mode. To do that, once the iPad's off, we hold the home and lock buttons for 8 seconds. Okay, and then we release the lock button, keep the home button held, and now we just got to let the script cook. And after only 5 minutes of waiting, we're now officially running iOS 7 on the iPad 1. Alright, you know what, don't get me wrong here, I didn't want it to be a huge ordeal, but wasn't it kind of easy to do this? You know what, I should just be grateful it works. Let's see if we can log in with our Apple ID. On iOS 5, clicking this button kind of just kicks us out, so, it does work here. Apple ID verification code required. Type your password followed by the code shown on your other devices. Oh, you know what, that's because iOS 7 doesn't support 2FA when you're logging into your Apple ID. Oh, okay, real funny, Apple. Now that they dig up my iPhone XR, charge it up, now my password's incorrect. Okay. Alright, we'll just do that after we're done with setup. Welcome to iPad. Get started. Okay, once I click this button, it's either going to be really slow or actually pretty decent. Okay, yeah, just from that I can tell performance might actually be good here. After finishing setup, we've got Cydia on the home screen over here, and one app that really stands out is FaceTime. As soon as I open this, it's gonna crash, right? Hello? There you go. Sign in with your Apple ID. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right, we gotta do that. Okay, this time I was able to prompt it fine. And, oh, come on, an error occurred. Okay, so yeah, it's the same situation as iOS 5, but hey, can we at least log into the apps individually? Could not sign in. Oh man, really? Actually, you know what? I don't think it really matters on this iPad. Alright, at the very least, does the App Store still work on iOS 7? The homepage here is completely non-functional, but the top charts actually still work. We probably can't log into this either, right? Cannot connect to... Okay, yeah, same exact issue on iOS 5. Okay, so that leads us to one solution here, using Cydia to fix it. Now, last time I tried to fix the App Store, didn't go so well, but I think I have the correct tweaks this time. Oh, that's right, before we use this, we gotta update some certificates. Head to Safari, then we punch in tlsroot.litten.ca, click this one and install it. Oh, hey, look at that, that's the iOS 6 install button. Somebody should be fired for that blunder. And after installing that, Cydia now works just fine, so let's add a source. And the one we're adding is repo.legacyios.com. Okay, and after adding it, we head inside there. Oh, wow, damn, there's a lot here. iTunes Store X7, okay, there we go. A fix for the iOS 7 App Store. Please tell me this. Oh, there we go, okay, here we go. Okay, so the App Store seems functional, but did it fix the login? And hey, there we go! All my purchased apps are showing up. Okay, anyways, it's really cool to have iOS 7 working on this thing. We got the App Store functional, but let's push it to the limit with 256 megs of RAM with Minecraft. Wait a sec, don't tell me this is like the Microsoft version with all the account sign-in stuff. Let's go! Thankfully it isn't. Okay, so the last version of Minecraft that works on iOS 7 is 0.14.3 with no Xbox sign-in. You don't have any Minecoin store. I mean, to be completely fair, there is some monetization inside of here, like the skin packs, but really it's not that bad compared to what we got today. After loading into a world, Minecraft runs like absolute shit. Just look at this. Yeah, wow, we've got a smooth 10-15 frames a second here. Alright, my question is, how is the performance even worse on the ground? I mean, just look at this. To be completely honest, though, I'm not even mad at Minecraft. I'm kind of just laughing at it because compared to the iPod Touch 4 and iOS 7, this is like a godsend. Because this thing right here is the thing nightmares are made out of, okay? You open up Safari, crashes. You use the thing for too long, oops, sorry, Wi-Fi died, enjoy tether booting for another 5 times in a row, there goes your hour. And then it gets even worse, because 1 hour turns into 5 hours when this thing forgets what the f***ing iOS is, and you're just sitting there, hunched over on your Mac like an idiot, click, clack, until it's 3 AM. So, yeah, it's safe to say that this runs way better than that. I mean, at least as far as I can tell. Does Bluetooth still work on this? No way, it does. Safari on the iPod 4 running iOS 7 just crashes immediately, but Safari on the iPad on iOS 5, I couldn't even make one Google search, so does it work better here? Alright, let's just try to Google Apple. Please click here. Okay, so yeah, we got the same situation with Safari on iOS 5. Alright, so even though it's kind of a bit unfortunate we didn't get like support for like accessing Google on Safari, upgrading all the way from iOS 5, we can actually like install a third-party app store to like load this thing full of games. And now that we have a higher OS version, we can actually support like a lot more versions than we could before, so let's take a look. The third-party app store we're going to be using is called AppDrop, and you get it from this repo right here. Now, we did fix the official store if I wanted to access like stuff I purchased, like, you know, the official Minecraft version, but I kind of want to downgrade to like a bit of an older version because obviously that one kind of ran like shit, so let's see what we can do with this. Before you install an app, the app list comes from a public source, so they may not show a name or an icon. Huh, okay. Downloading catalog. Why is it taking so long? Oh, yeah, that might have something to do with the 32,192 apps on this catalog. Alright, let's see. Do they have Minecraft on here? Yeah, I'd say they got it. They also got a lot more here. You got Minecraft Story Mode, a bunch of, like, free apps. Skin Seed, I remember using that one. Alright, let's just try to download, like, an older version of PE. 0.14.3. Okay, yeah, this is the version that we tried on this, and it ran at, like, what, 10 frames a second? So let's keep going back in time. 0.1.2. Okay, yeah, this is a bit more time accurate. Alright, now we hit download, and no URL. Okay, so you had a listing for the game, but you didn't have like an IPA file for me to download? Alright, what about this one? Okay, yeah, same issue. Alright, so good news. I kept digging through that repository until I found one that worked, and I landed on 0.5.0, so let's see if that launches. You can definitely tell this is a bit of an older build by the fact that the world just ends at the corner, but this performs just so much better than the one that's native to iOS 7. It's not even close. I gotta say, I'm really starting to like AppDrop, especially compared to the standard iOS store, because, you know, for one, it's not a pain in the ass to get working. I'm also a huge fan of the version control this app has, mainly because I just want to use the oldest one that's available. And I almost forgot to mention just like the sheer amount of delisted stuff that you can access, like this Family Guy game that's nowhere to be found today. Anyways, aside from like specific instances, like say a really high version of Minecraft PE not running so well here, the standard performance on iOS 7, it's been pretty good. And I bet some of that's got like something to do with the like the reduced blur effects iOS 7 does on like really weak devices like the iPhone 4, because take a look at the control center here and compare it to the iPhone 5S. Yeah, I'd say there's a pretty big difference between the two. Alright, so stick with me on this. What if on like the weakest device to run iOS 7, we just like crank the settings all the way up to max? And to do that, we're going to be using a tweak called High Graphics from this repo. Is this a terrible idea? Yeah, probably. Okay, first impressions. Oh no. I'm not really sure if that's noticeable if you're like watching and not using the iPad, but it was pretty sluggish, just like sliding over for the passcode. Aside from that, hey, we've got a so much slower now. But terrible performance aside, we do actually have like the full fancy blur mode for iOS 7. This really tanks your performance though. I mean, just take a look at the scroll speed when I'm inside of this menu. One thing that's pretty weird to me about this is that performance just like seems worse in general. You can see how like chuggy it is when there's like actually no like active blur effect on the menu itself. No offense to the tweak developer though, because we're really working with just the worst case possible for iOS 7. Like even the iPhone 4 does have an extra 256 megs of RAM, so make it that way you will. Oh, and by the way, a bit of a side tangent, I kind of forgot to mention this earlier, but whenever you pull up the control center, you notice how like there's usually a camera button there, but it's just gone because this has no camera. So what happens if we hit it? Is like the entire iPad gonna crash? Oh, it does nothing. Okay, well, there you go. You got your dedicated fidget button inside of the control center. Putting iOS 7 on this thing is pretty cool, but when it comes to me, like, personally, my use case for this thing, I like to collect these things in, like, their original versions, so there is like an any iOS restore option inside a legacy iOS kit, so just for fun, let's see if we can restore this thing back to iOS 3.2. Alright, so let's hit enter on Powder Snow. Alright, then we need to select the based iOS 5.1 ISO. Or sorry, IPSW. Ooh, big difference. Alright, and then for the base IPSW, we gotta head to ipsw.me and download iPhone OS 3.2. It's not even called iOS yet. Oh, by the way, anybody else find it kind of funny how they renamed iPhone OS to iOS just for the iPad, and then like, I don't know, like come 2019 when iPad OS 13 comes out, they just like ditch it? Also, a bit of a nitpick, but why didn't they rename it to iOS when the iPad came out? It's kind of funny to just like run iPhone OS on the iPad. Whatever, I guess it doesn't matter, it's just kind of semantic. After downloading iPhone OS 3.2, we select the restore, and then we let the script cook again. Whoa, hold on one sec. Error, unable to successfully restore device. What do you mean? Is that part of the process? Because I mean, it's telling me to put the device back into DFU mode after that point in the script, so I guess I will. Okay. Okay, it seems like it's working. Alright, thankfully it turns out that was part of the process. So restoring done, the device may enter recovery mode after the restore, which it looks like it did, so we just have to enter the legacy iOS kit and enable exploit. Alright, this seems easy enough. And now we're officially booted into iPhone OS 3.2 on the iPad 1. It definitely feels a lot faster than iOS 7, but that comes at a cost because we don't have notification center, we don't have control center, you can't do multitasking. Hell, I don't even think you can set like a wallpaper. I mean, can we? Is it inside of settings? Set both. Oh, okay, so we can, but maybe this was like an exclusive to iPad feature and it like only came to like iOS 4 later. You know, even with the limitations of iOS 3.2 on the iPad 1, it is still really cool to just take a look at the skeuomorphic elements and how they like take advantage of the extra screen. Like, look at the Contacts app and how it's like an entire book to use. Another one I find really cool is like what they did with notes by like separating these two UI elements by like leather. But I'll just save that for the collection. For now, we're gonna head back to iOS 7 so we can wrap this up. So I think that's about it for iOS 7 on the iPad 1. Now, this is a pretty cool project to breathe more life into this really old device, and you know, maybe it shouldn't have gotten it because 256 megs of RAM is kind of rough on it. But honestly, iOS 7 on this, I would say it runs good enough. It's definitely better than the iPod 4 trying to run it, and it's got like the same exact processor, the exact same amount of RAM, so why is this so much worse? Oh, you know what? Here's a fun question. Okay, so use the iPad 1 on iOS 7, the iPod 4 on iOS 7, or the iPhone 4S on iOS 9. Huh, okay, so which one do I pick? You know what? Here, I got a better idea. Anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments, what other iOS videos do you want to see from me next? I do know about the USB Lighter 8 exploit for like A12 and A13 devices. I've got something cooking up soon, okay? I ordered an iPhone 11 Pro, it's coming in the mail soon. Sit tight on that, but let me know down in the comments anything else you want me to take care of. Alright, I'll see you later.